What is up, everybody? Welcome back to From the Crypt. Yeah. I hate to open an episode like this, but we got to talk.
Yeah,
We got to talk
we
something
we
fierce.
we gotta walk some stuff back a little bit.
Yeah, we got to discuss a little thing called the Nintendo Switch 2 that we just did a reaction video for. I still think, I mean, by all means, go watch that video. I still stand by pretty much most of what I said, if not all of what I said, really, other than the stuff that we're talking about today, which we
Yeah.
didn't really cover at all in that video. So that's why we're doing this little short episode real quick to kind of discuss that. So, yeah, Derek, where do we even begin? Um,
Okay, so like you said, the direct itself was awesome. I mean, the Switch 2 looks great. The games look fantastic. They did announce some ballin' ass games. But the thing that we didn't learn until the tail end of when we were recording and didn't really have enough time to sit on and digest was the fact that, and it's not the console price either. 450 for the Switch,
it's a
I
little
think is a
heavier than the first one, but like the specs being increased as much as they are, I totally understand that.
yeah. I'm in no way, shape, or form pissed about that. I was expecting 400, comes out to be 450. That's not a big deal. The game prices, however, is a gigantic deal
Yeah.
because this isn't going to end up being just a Nintendo thing. Like we got to talk about these $80 digital, $90 fucking price
Physical,
tags. Yeah, for the physical,
physical.
that's not even the full fucking game.
It's just a box, actually. It's
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
it.
it's a chip with a code on it that allows you to go download the game digitally.
Yeah,
So
and
really, are you getting
first,
a physical copy of anything at that point? No,
no,
you're getting a plastic case.
and for the longest time, people have been saying that Grand Theft Auto 6, when it launches, I guess Rockstar or 2K or Take Two, who, whatever is behind it. I know Rockstar is. I can't remember their parent company at the time. But people have kicked around the idea that it is going to launch for $100, which
Mm.
I think is astronomical bullshit.
Oh yeah,
Because
I
you
don't care
look at
how good
how,
it looks. I don't even
yeah,
care how good it looks, dude.
yeah,
That is too much.
I am not paying $100 for a game. Like, let's just be honest about that. Most of these premier holy shit package games too, like the ultimate super mega deluxe edition, I won't even pay that much money for those because it's just a
But
blatant cash grab.
but here's the thing: those existing don't bother me because you still generally have the option to get just the game, the standard edition of the game. You know, so that
Yes.
is absolutely okay in my book. Like, by all means, make your super mega uh, awesome deluxe Hellfire edition of whatever the fuck game you want, and it's gonna be $5,000, whatever. To each their
The
own.
Bloodline edition.
The Bloodline edition, exactly. If that's the case, then you know what? Throw your doubloons and all of your chips towards this thing as much as you want. That's none of my business, okay? But generally speaking, when those exist, I still have the option to just get the game, or
Yes.
get the Epic Edition or something. It's like a tier above that, or whatever. And I can choose to spend the less money just to get the game, so I can experience the game how it's supposed to be experienced without all the extras and such.
Yeah.
However, a standard game starting at $80 digitally.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about all that.
No,
That's just not okay.
yeah. One thing that I will say that I've read, and this still doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever, is they've said that not all the games will be like $80, or like, let's say $80 just the top out, because I'm not going to do physical and digital, whatever.
Yeah,
$80. Not all of the game. That makes no fucking sense to me.
yeah,
Like, it becomes an industry standard for the prices. And so, a perfect example that will tie into what I'm talking about now to what you were just talking about. What if Borderlands 4 launches for $80 and then we got what, the $150 like season pass with all the like all 4 fucking DLCs, a bunch of different skins that nobody gives a shit about.
I won't touch
Like
it.
we're running into a fucking massive problem here.
I'm not gonna touch it.
And yeah,
And we as
no.
consumers really are the only people that can do anything about it, because the only way they're going to be able to get away with pricing like that is if we buy the shit for that much. You know what I mean? Which sucks, because I hate saying that, because like these games, they look phenomenal and I want to play them very, very badly, but I'm not spending $80 on a fucking Mario Kart title.
Yeah.
I don't care how open world it is, dude. I don't care.
I can't justify it. I want to play that game. Do not get me wrong.
Same.
I want to. But I am not fucking spending $80 on a game that I'm going to play like basically only when friends are over.
Yeah.
And I'm not the most social person anymore. So I don't have a lot of friends over.
Right. And
like,
even if it was like Zelda or something, I'm not spending $80 on a Zelda game unless it's got some bonus shit in it. Like, if it's got, like, extra perks or something and that's the Epic Edition or whatever, absolutely. But, I mean, not for the base game. You're out of your mind, dude. And it's just a shame that we go from what we got last year with Helldivers, when they released a game for, what, $40, wasn't it?
$40.
And it was this awesome experience for the most part. Everybody was having a great time with it. And really, everyone continued to have a great time with it until they started doing some shady shit with the PSN stuff and all that kind of stuff. But that aside, let's just put that down for a second and just accept that it was a fun game when it came out for $40. It was like super fun to play. People were just chomping at the bit to play it. It was the big thing. All right. And usually the big thing is a fucking Call of Duty game or a Zelda game, or I know when Smash Bros. Releases, it's huge, you know, for a little while. That's like the big thing everyone's talking about and so forth. But not an indie title. And Helldivers did that, dude. Helldivers. So you're going to tell me that a multi-billion-dollar corporation like Nintendo is going to release a Mario Kart title base for $80? Are you kidding me? Not to mention that on top of the fact that Donkey Kong Bonanza is also probably going to be $80. And you're expecting us to roll with that, even though we haven't had an open world Donkey Kong game in 20-something years?
I read somewhere that they were saying Donkey Kong Bonanza was not going to be $80, but at this point, I don't believe any of.
Oh yeah,
like,
I'll believe all that when I see it.
Yeah, because if one game gets away, if a Nintendo exclusive gets away with $80 base game, all of them move to an $80 base game, and then it eventually becomes all of the games on the system become $80 base games. And then that bleeds over into Xbox and PlayStation. That means what's going to be coming out that's going to be huge? NBA 2K. A bunch of people play NBA 2K still to this day. It'll be $80. Just watch, because they're going to say, well, it's just $10 more. I mean, we upped it. Like, PlayStation started the $69.99 stuff with the launch of the PS5 with like Demon Souls and stuff like that. Now Nintendo's fucking upping it, and the other companies are going to follow suit, and that's just more money out of our fucking pockets.
Now, here's the thing. Now this could be a whole topic for a different video entirely. And I've been pretty vocal about this for years. But games should not, by any stretch, still be $70. Period. Okay? They should not be $70. Now, if they are going to make $70 games, then the physical copies of them should be $70. But the digital copies should not be $70.
Yeah.
There's no reason on any earth that makes sense. That doesn't make any sense. You don't have to pay for distribution. You don't have to pay for The casing, you don't have to pay for packaging and shipping and labels and all this stuff. Why
You don't have to
would
pay money to the third party to fucking sell it for you.
exactly? Why would we pay the same amount for a physical copy game that we do a digital copy? Riddle me that, Batman. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. So
No, so,
the fact
like,
that they're
with
going up now is insane.
So I will say I agree with you in that aspect, and Nintendo, not to like I'm not gonna contradict this. The 8090 that they have, that is like an idea that I agree with. It is at the wrong fucking price
Oh
point
yeah,
though.
yeah. They should be bumping
100%.
that
It is
down.
at the wrong. Yeah, it is at the wrong price point. It like 70 has been my like this is fucking bullshit. But whatever, I'll buy less games or I'll just wait and be more patient. But they bumped it down so that it was 70-60 instead of 90-80. It makes a difference.
I'll wait,
Like,
dude. I'll wait for them to go on discount, like the big summer sales and shit, and like Christmas sales and all this kind of stuff. I'm not. That's just not happening, dude. I'm not paying $80 for a fucking Mario Kart game. I don't care.
yeah,
I don't care how groundbreaking it is or how good it is. If you can tell me that Helldivers can release for $40 and be as popular as it is, so much so that they are like expanding even still to this day for $40, then you're not going to tell me that Nintendo's releasing a fucking $80 Mario Kart game for $80 and people are buying that. There's no way.
well,
There's no way.
and another thing, like what I told you before we hopped on, that I want to just throw out there, regardless of politics, Nintendo had put out a statement and said they factored in the new tariffs that went into effect when they priced the Switch 2 and the games. So my question is, why once the tariffs were actually rolled out, did they cancel the pre-orders and I think are reconsidering their price adjustments?
Yeah.
I think their first statement was bullshit. Obviously, one of them is bullshit, and I think the first one was just them trying to, we're just going to do that, and probably expected what happened the last two times tariffs have been proposed, and they just get, we're just going to kick the can down the road and not do anything for right now. I don't know, but we're in a conundrum right now. Something fierce with this because games go up to $80. Game industry is going like people aren't going to be buying games.
People can hardly afford to live right now.
Yeah,
What makes you think that they're going to be buying games when they can hardly afford their rent for $80, dude?
Yeah, because you think about it, $80. That used to be 4 work hours out of my work week. Like, I guess technically, I got paid more than $20 an hour, but $4 hours for it. Now, like back when it was $60, 3 hours. Like it keeps adding up, and everything else is going to keep going up around it too.
Yeah.
Gas is fucking going up. Inflation's back and going up. Not to get political by any means, but I mean it is directly tied into this subject matter.
Yeah.
The price of everything is going up, so why would I choose to buy an $80 game when I need to put gas in my car or put food on my fucking table? And these companies need to fucking realize that.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all.
It's just classic, simple greed, and it is
Disgusting.
bullshit. Yeah, it is fucking horrible, if I'm being 100% honest.
Now, I'm not even going to pretend to know the absolute ins and outs of how a game is made, even though I do have a general idea. I have a pretty decent understanding of what goes into a game and how difficult it is to make the games. Now, I've not made any games. Well, I mean, Hovey and I have made that Zort game that I was telling you about in our chat, but literally it was just the two of us, okay, and it's taken us months to even get to where we're at now, and it's still not done. And most of that was done through trial and error and with entirely free assets for the most part. I mean, obviously there was a couple things that we may have spent some money here and there on, but nothing crazy. Obviously our budget was nothing. So
yeah,
we were able to make that, and that was free for the most part. However, you got a company like Nintendo that 1000% does not need to worry about money, charging people more when indie devs are making games like Helldivers, or I guess it's not really indie at that point. They're a pretty decent sized studio, I think. But still, like they're still a smaller studio at the end of the day, and they still don't have anything out that's like huge or groundbreaking other than Helldivers. They were able to release it for $40, and Nintendo is trying to justify pricing their games at $80 for why?
Yeah.
What do you mean, dude? And if Mario Kart was $80, I guarantee you Zelda's gonna be $80. Almost guaranteed the new fucking open world Smash Bros game that they're gonna end up releasing is gonna be $80. Hell, that one might even be $90 for all I fucking know. And the physical's gonna be $100. I don't know, but regardless, that's too much, man. That's too much.
Yeah.
Like there's so many other things. You know what? At that point, I would sooner plug in my fucking PlayStation 2 that's sitting over here collecting dust and just play some old games that I already have.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not spending no fucking $80 on a Mario Kart title. I'll just keep playing Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom or something.
No, the pricing of everything has drastically altered my thinking, because at one point, like, and you know, Toby was like that too. Like, he was like, I might have to get a Switch for Dust Bloods. And
until he realized that he might have to spend $80 on the fucking thing and a Switch that he doesn't have, nor had he also didn't have any desire to have a Switch.
Yeah, and I am a console collector. I have like almost all of Nintendo's consoles and handhelds. But this, I will be waiting if I buy it, because the price just games, it isn't right. Console's a little bit steep, but you know, I paid $500 for a PS5, so I can't sit there and do this at Nintendo for the console price. But I'm not going to buy a fucking console and then have to buy $80 games for it. That's just, no. That's my tap out fucking margin, because like you said, I have a massive retro game library, and I can turn to that at any point in time. But it's just sad because I know it's going to bleed over to everywhere else. And then before you know it, PlayStation Plus prices are going to go up. Xbox Game Pass prices are going to go up. And it's not good any way you slice it.
Dude, $80 is almost 20% of the console price.
Yep.
Come on, dude. Come on. Like, what? What do you mean? Hell no.
It makes me miss when, like, GameCube, Xbox, and PS2, that generation, games were $50.
Yeah. And I
they
think
got $10 cheaper from the generation before. They were $50.
And I think I could probably figure out an argument to be made about how games may have even been more difficult and probably more expensive to make at that point in time. Like, nowadays, there's so many free assets that are available to anybody, let alone, like, AAA companies, you know? Like, and maybe I'm just naive for saying that, but I feel like the amount of experimenting and the win-loss ratio and releasing a game at that point, like, you kind of had to throw shit at the wall to see what sticks, you know, to some degree, because they were still figuring out how games worked, what people liked, like how this would interact with these people and how that would interact with those people. And like the design of games was like so much more difficult to structure at that point because there was just so much experimentation with it, because not everybody played video games, you know? And the people that did play video games were getting all of these new, fresh, weird ideas and stuff. But nowadays, you can't tell me that it requires a whole team of people to pitch a fucking Call of Duty. There's no way.
No, like it just nowadays, like it's just making it as pretty and as realistic as possible.
But even then, if you get a skilled amount of like a skilled couple of people together, you can do that. Like pretty cheap.
I wonder how much they could actually start slashing from their budgets, because that is a big thing that I'm hearing is like nowadays games, it's costing like upwards of like $200 million to make a game. I can only imagine how much like GTA 6 has cost to make. How many of those people were actually necessary, or how many people did you have just like modeling a bush, you know?
Yeah. Or
Like,
yeah, or like sound design, or the amount of teams that were on storyboards and shit. Like, how many kings were over this castle? You know, like how many managers were spitting down these people's throats trying to get it made when they didn't need that many. Like,
and yeah, let me interject because I will say I am in no way, shape, or form advocating for like people that actually legitimately do work to lose their
yeah.
jobs. I am no way, shape, or form. What I would be okay with is these fuckers that literally don't do anything, i.e., the managers and the CEOs
Mm-hmm.
that have just like, let's say, 4 or 5 times. I'm being very rough and kind, I feel. They make 4 to 5 times as much as these people, yet they do jack fucking shit.
Mm-hmm. Give directions.
Yeah, that's it.
They
Oh,
they
do
give
this.
they give directions to somebody else to give directions to.
Yeah. Like, those people in my mind, yeah, cut their fucking salary.
Yeah.
Like, I just, I don't know. It's it's not looking good. And then even if they trim staff down and then people started using AI, you imagine the uproar if
Oh
people
yeah.
start
And
like,
that's gonna happen. I mean, that's gonna happen at some point. I know that. I mean, that's kind of a given, I think, at this point. But like, I think that there are instances in where like there are instances you could probably justify putting AI in place of. You know, stuff that's like mundane, or stuff that like that is not the creative process of it, but maybe more on the back end, you know, could probably utilize some AI to like maybe make things more efficient, you know, so they can still keep
yeah,
their pacing, but not have to spend as many people hours doing it. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I think that's totally okay. That I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If the tools are there, fucking use them. You know what I mean? Just like as long as they're not replacing artists with Midjourney or fucking replacing coders or something like that with. I mean, AI is pretty good at coding too, I suppose. But and I guess that's less of a creative process than the actual art itself. But I think it's mainly the visual stuff and the audio stuff that really should probably not be touched when it comes to AI. But
yeah,
story as well. Also, don't touch that with AI.
yeah, dude, yeah, that's big no.
But yeah, a lot of back end stuff, sure. I mean, cut your costs there if you can get away with some stuff like that, and you know, it's still gonna probably have bugs and issues and stuff here and there that you'll have to kink out, which even humans can make mistakes like that, though.
Yeah, because I mean, we've unfortunately also been conditioned to accept that when a game launches nowadays, it's not done.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, half baked shit
there's
gets released all the fucking time.
yeah, like yeah, 100%. So I don't know. I think if they could utilize AI in a way that like shortens development time without people losing their jobs, then that gets the product out quicker, and then you move on to the next project, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But
Or if they were to cut some people that are kind of on the back end, or like move them around or something, maybe put them on different kinds of projects or whatever,
yeah,
like to keep the process maybe at the same pace, but for cheaper. I mean, I don't
it,
see that being an issue either, but like, I don't know. I don't know. It's a sticky situation, and at the end of the day, like, I don't have any answers. Obviously, I'm not a fucking game dev. I'm not the owner of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. I don't know, but I still feel like just for the sole fact that I have thought that $60 and $70 games have been pretty steep forever, and I've always tried to get games when they go on discount. The only time I ever make exceptions for that is if it's the WoW expansion because I'm a shill. But um, other
that's
than
fair.
that, like I try not to buy games for full price anyway. Most of the time, I will wait for them to be on sale,
Yeah,
or for free, like the free monthly games and stuff on PlayStation. But the fact that they were that price and I was still kind of on the edge, teetering a little bit, makes this even more of a like.
fuck no.
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that with a 20-foot pole, dude.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't touch
better
that
start
with the
having some
torch of
sales.
Gondor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Anyway, that was really it. Unless you had anything else that we didn't touch up on, but like,
no, I like. I'll speak for both of us when I say, like, yeah, this is an issue that we both definitely talked about this morning. That yeah, we needed to record something for because,
Yeah,
like,
I don't want
the
anybody thinking that like because of our very, very, very positive reaction to the direct that we were totally on board with $80 games and Nintendo
yeah,
of all companies just wringing us out of every fucking penny that we have as consumers and so forth.
yeah,
Um,
no, because that 100% was not the case,
no,
and yeah,
not okay.
not yeah, it's not okay. It's never gonna be okay. And like you said, the only way that we can combat this is to speak with our wallets and
Yep.
I guess proverbially shove it up their ass
Mm-hmm.
and not purchase their product and make our voices known.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, as we learned a few years ago, trying to get that many people united and together to defeat something is not possible.
It at the very least is extremely difficult.
Oh yeah, I
But
was gonna say we got a 0.01% chance of doing it, but
yeah,
it's
I
fucking
I
any
just
chance.
just picture, if you will, imagine a Mario Kart title flopping with sales on opening week. Imagine a Mario Kart title flopping with sales. Do you imagine what that would do to Nintendo? Like just Mario
Yeah,
Kart alone, that would hurt. Because
yeah,
if people aren't buying their like number one title of all time, the new shiny version of it, they sure as fuck aren't gonna buy the other ones that they have to take a chance on. Like the Donkey Kong game, for example, I'm sure it's probably really fun. It looks really fun, but we don't know
yeah,
that. It's a whole new premise because we haven't had a fucking Donkey Kong game in 20 something years. So, I mean, am I gonna take a chance on buying that Mario or that Donkey Kong game if I'm not even willing to spend the money on Mario Kart? Hell no.
yeah. No, it's too much of a risk.
Yeah,
We can't
not
with
happening,
with
dude.
that amount of money and the fact that what you turn around and resell it to GameStop for what $20, you're still out fucking 60.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Not happening. But
it's hard fucking no.
um, yeah. Anyway, let us know down in the comments, guys. What do you think of this whole debacle? What do you think we can do about it? Maybe some people that are a little bit smarter than we are as far as like game development and like why this shit is happening.
Yeah,
Maybe the more political climate stuff that's going over our heads. I don't know. Just let us know down in the comments below so we can maybe have a better understanding. I would love to understand it more because right now it's
yeah,
kind of a
100.
jumbled fucking mess in my head. But
Yeah, 100%. I am always down to be educated. If somebody knows something,
yeah,
like about game, like how anything that we suggested cannot work, please don't fucking bitch and scream. Just tell us.
yeah, let
I
us
would
know.
love to read the comments on that and just be better informed going forward.
Or if you know somebody that does have an answer, send this video their way. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
fuck. Maybe we could do a video with somebody chatting about it. That would be fun.
hell yeah, get this video to Nintendo. No, I'm just kidding. That'll
Oh
never
God.
happen. But
Yeah.
anyway, yep, as usual. Let us know in the comments what you think, and like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And sorry we had to do kind of a negative Nancy video this time, but just stay tuned. We've got a new video coming out in a couple days, so we'll see you then. Peace.